This is my first one of these that I'm doing. I mean, I've done stuff like this before, but never this specifically where it's just me. I've seen Superman, seen it twice now, and I wanted to see it twice before I gave my thoughts. I think sometimes when I watch a really hype movie, I can tend to either give it too much credit or not enough. I'll be either too nice or maybe too critical. So I wanted to remove as much of that as I could while still giving thoughts as close to the release as I could, because I think people should go see this movie. So, what did I think? I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. I think the thing about this movie that I liked the most was that it felt like a return to form for superhero movies, where, for example, it reminded me of these, where you have a character, Spider-Man in the first three Tobey Maguire movies, who he does good because it's what's right. He does kind acts because he can. And he feels, obviously with great power comes great responsibility. And there's something to be said that that's the message of this movie. And it's just nice to watch a movie where a kind man does kind things for other people because it's kind. He's not looking for praise. He's not looking for anything really out of it except for just maybe for other people to follow his lead, his inspiration. And I think we could use a little bit of that right now. I think with this movie, if you are not a fan, of DC comic, stories or movies, I think this could win you over. It does kind of throw you into the mix, sort of like Star Wars, where they don't set up his origin. There's not, this whole new, they don't explain a lot. There's a little text crawl about the universe, but they don't really try to over-explain it, which I liked because, we've seen the origin of Superman and Batman and Spider-Man and all these other heroes a billion times, so I don't need to see him as a baby going to from Krypton to Earth. So I like that they kind of just throw you in the mix, and sort of like Star Wars, there's a text crawl that sort of just very briefly explains things, and that may be a positive for you, that may be a negative. I've heard some people say that for them that was a negative, and I can see why. But for me, I liked it. It actually felt a little bit refreshing because I think so many other movies, not even just superhero, but just so many movies are just trying to set up so much stuff. They try to do so much world building that they over-explain everything to a point where it becomes exhausting and it feels like homework. And I like that this doesn't feel like homework. Like, you could just watch this movie on its own. You could have never seen any superhero movie before, ever. And I think you could enjoy this. There may be things you're confused by. For example, there's Green Lanterns and Hawk Girl, and you might be like, Hawk Girl? Like, she screams like a hawk, and she has like a mace. And if that sounds silly, that's because it is, and it's intended to be. While not playing it like a joke, which I liked. So for some people, that may be a little off-putting because they're not used to that kind of stuff. But at this point, we have Guardians of the Galaxy where we have a talking tree and a talking raccoon who are like the emotional core of those three movies. If you saw Guardians 3, that movie was devastating. And it's because they're characters. It doesn't matter if they're animals or whatever, they're characters. And I think that's something James Gunn does well. He doesn't treat comic booky things like they're goofy and stupid. He treats them with sincerity and he treats them with love. And I think that's something that we are kind of missing right now in general with people making movies. It's nice that it feels like he liked making this, and it feels like he likes the characters, and it feels like the cast liked making it. And it's just nice when you see something where people actually liked what they made. You ask, I just think off the top of my head, Wonka came out, last year, and Hugh Grant, before the movie even came out, was talking about how he hated his experience. And for me, as a viewer, I'm like, well, I'm now only thinking about that every time he's on screen, is that he's miserable. It's hard to separate that. So I wish there was more Clark Kent in the movie. I wish his parents, Ma and Pa Kent, were in the movie a bit more. They do some interesting stuff with his Kryptonian parents. I won't say anything because spoilers, but I liked what they did with it. It felt unique and interesting in a way where it didn't make up its own thing. It borrowed some stuff from other storylines in other mediums, TV, comic, movie, while also still staying true to who Superman is and having that be the through line. This movie is about who he is, why he is the way he is, and why maybe we should all try to be a little bit more like him. I think people will enjoy this. I hope it makes money. I know DC sort of has a bit of a stink right now, and people are sort of wishy-washy on it, and I don't blame them. Frankly, the only good stuff that's come out of them recently is James Gunn's other movie, The Suicide Squad, and then Batman, and that's it. I mean, I liked The Flash, and I'm wrong. I'm aware of that. But that made like negative dollars. I think it was their biggest bomb ever. So I hope this makes money. I think I heard it was doing well. So I hope people go to see it in the theater. They just don't just wait for streaming. It's a good movie to see in the theater. The camera work is dynamic. The action was really well done. It wasn't just a CG fest. They actually did a lot of wire work, and I thought that was really unique and interesting because I think it would have been really easy to just rely on CGI the entire time. And there is a lot of CGI. I mean, there's entire characters in this movie that are 100% CGI, like Crypto. So, yeah, like I said, I thought it was great. I hope you like it. I liked it. And if they continue this, I hope it continues to be good. I mean, they're making Supergirl, which comes out next year, based off of the comic by Tom King, which was incredible. And they do some stuff to set that up, and what they're teasing makes me excited because it seems like it's going to be really loyal to that, which excites me because I think that's going to be really special. That's going to be sort of like Star Wars mixed with like John Wick, mixed with Supergirl, mixed with like sort of like a cosmic road trip. It's a great story, but while also sticking true to who Kara is and who Kal-El Clark is. And I just hope that they keep making these, and I hope they're good. I like watching good movies. I don't have superhero fatigue. I like superheroes, if you can't tell. I mean, I have the Infinity Gauntlet things in the background. I like it. I like that stuff. Who cares? And I think it's fun. And it's just nice sometimes to take a break from the way things are in the world to just watch something nice. And that's what this movie was, which was nice. And I hope that continues.